For 30 years, this auction room has held all its sales on a Sunday, every other Sunday. So the aim from 2019 is to run all our auctions on a Monday. Now we've a lot of young staff here, with young families on the way, people that may be thinking about having a young family. So the idea for the new calendar also is to give 26 extra days off a year to all the staff. So everybody has full weekends. Now what we really hope is that it doesn't impact buyers too much, and with the advent of internet bidding, live auto bids and people leaving commission bids with us, hopefully it won't impact people too much. But if you buy with us, let me know what you think in the comments below. Will you still be able to attend auctions on a Monday? We really hope so. Published some new sale date cards. I've designed these and had these printed. Let's have a look. These new cards are just for the first 6 months of 2019. Soft touch lamination. That's the Bakelite desk stand we sold for $12,000. There it says all sales to be held on Mondays. Now inside we find all the antiques and collectible sales, antiques and interior sales with the deadlines. That's the new YouTube URL, youtube.com/Baitons, so you can recommend us to your friends. That's the Judge Gary coffee cup, sold for $2,400. On the back, all information on selling, opening hours, etc, etc. So really pleased with them, they look really, really nice. Just one glaring, horrible error. April the 2nd. No such sale. April 8th, April 2nd, I don't think so. Now Dad said all I have to do is change all 500 date cards with a biro. For me this is totally unworkable. 500 date cards, all junk. Now sometimes I'll send an email out with the wrong date on. Nothing I can do about that. Gives a real black mark. I feel awful for like a week. So what I did, I went against Father's wishes, so I apologise for this, Dad. You'll probably be watching this. 500 new date cards, all perfect. Anyway, time to do the sale preview. So I've got 2 picks for this week, and both are horological in nature. The first one is this item just behind me, and it's a Davidson's patent automatic Memorandum clock. Now you'll probably have heard me say a bunch of times, I started work here in 2001. I started taking it really serious probably 2 or 3 years into that. So what's that, for 14, 15 years. So I think in our industry in particular, that still makes me a bit of a junior, but it's a good stretch of time. And in that time, I've never ever seen one of these. So that's got to make them pretty uncommon. Now below this rather curious looking urn-shaped finial, you've got what looks like a pretty standard early 20th century mahogany case mantel clock. Something that you might often see in the sale rooms, around about £30, £40 in value. But it's what's contained inside that urn which makes this a little bit special and sets it apart from the rest of the mantel clocks out there in the market. Now this is the Memorandum mechanism, and it's something to akin to a modern smartphone. So you can set any kind of notification on your phone now to remind you to do all kinds of things. Take the bin out, go to the doctor's, so you don't forget those important events. Now in the top of this device, there's a little ivorine tablet that normally came with the clocks where you'd write out your little note, pop it into any one of these slots that correspond with the correct time, and when that time comes, the little tablet drops through into the letterbox below and can also be timed to set with a little alarm to remind you to do that all-important item. As far as the clock movement goes, it's just a platform escapement on the inside, so not that sophisticated. I suppose in their day they would have been probably regarded as pretty high-tech gadgets, a little bit over fussy even perhaps, and they probably didn't catch on that well, and that's probably why they're quite uncommon now. I did a little bit of research. I could only find 3 or 4 examples sold, but all in a little bit better condition than this example we've got. As you can see, there's 2 columns missing from the front. On the inside, it looks like there's been little bits and bobs of alteration, but still a rare collector's piece. We've got £60 to £100 estimate. It's already bid up to 75 online and with a telephone bidder. I think probably it could go over 100. I don't expect it to go as far as 200, but we'll just have to wait and see. My second pick is this really smart looking Breitling Chronograph bracelet watch. Gents watch in 18 karat gold case, and it's from about the 1940s. And Breitling are known for making chronographs for aviators. This watch has got centre seconds, which works on a stopwatch function. It's also got a subsidiary dial at number 6, which is constant seconds, so that's running all the time with the movement. And then at number 12, you've got the second subsidiary, which records minutes, up to 45 minutes. So the way it works, if you want to record a section of time, you press this first shoulder button up there. That sets the centre seconds going. And if every time that goes around a full minute, it records 1 minute on that subsidiary up at 12. So you can record a period of time over 45 minutes. When you're done, you press the shoulder button again to stop time, and the lower button resets the whole thing. Now, in our environment, prices are going up and down all the time in all different areas of antiques and collectibles. So a very dynamic and active sort of place to work. Now, watches at the moment, and vintage watches especially, are really up on the rise, going up and up in price. A lot of people are choosing to look at those as an investment, but they're also very functional and they look very smart, as we've said. Now, for all those reasons, we've got this watch estimated at £1,000 to £1,800. We're already up to 900 on the internet, so I'm hopeful we're going to hit that price bracket. So lastly, it's the wish list item. So that's the item in the sale with the most people watching. And now it's the feature on this channel that pushes me to look at those fields, those categories of collecting that I'm not normally interested in. And for this sale, it's just behind me, this concert poster. And it's for the Beatles, which we've all heard of, and Bilk. I have heard of Bilk, but for copyright reasons, I can't put him on the channel, so go and check him out afterwards if you've never heard of him. Quite an unlikely pairing, Beatles and Bilk, but this poster was from 1963, so it's very, very early on in the Beatles' career. It's in fact only 2 months after their first #1 with Please Please Me. So Beatlemania is just starting to grip the country. Now, the concert was at the Queen's Hall in Leeds. That building's now been demolished. I actually managed to find an account of that concert that very night, and it goes like this. Beatlemania is strong this rainy night, with a crowd of 3,200 crammed into the Queen's Hall. The promoter has about 20 stewards linking arms around the stage to prevent overzealous fans from getting on the stage with the Beatles. One of the porters is bitten on the arm, and some fans crawl under the stage. The Beatles also evoke screaming from girls in the audience, a phenomenon that is becoming increasingly frequent during Beatles performances. I don't know what you think, but looking at the state of this poster, it looks like it has actually been involved in a Beatles mosh pit. So now I'm guessing from the early part of the Beatles' career, a lot of these posters would have been torn up and destroyed. Because as we said, it's in the early days of Beatlemania, so nobody probably really, if they were being honest to themselves, would have really known how popular the Beatles were going to become. So it's probably quite a rare survivor. Now there's 10 people watching online, we've got a telephone bidder booked. The estimate in the catalogue's only 15 to 30, and that's exactly what we had on that miner's lamp last week that made 3,500. I don't think it's going to go that high, probably between £100 and £200, but we'll see. So as you've probably realised by now, I'm quite interested in milestones, and this is the 10th video, so thanks to everybody for watching if you've seen them all. And also, just to remind you to subscribe. All you have to do is click that red button below. Videos are every Saturday, and I'll see you next week. Have a great Halloween. So I have 2 picks for this week, and both are of a horological nature. Picks for this week, and both are So I've got 2 picks this week, and both are of a